Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 16675 Southwest Reigert Terrace here in Beaverton. We're located up on the roof going down through a 3-inch roof vent. We're in ABS pipe right now. We're actually at the base of the vent. I'll show that when I pull the camera out here. I was just test running it. We're checking the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is running, and we're going to zero out here at the base of the vent. Off we go. We're transitioning here to PVC, and it did look like the line bumped to 4-inch pipe back in the ABS. Just went past a joint here, which we'll get a better view of on the way back out when the line is drained. That shows a little bit of a slip at the pipe joint. However, a slip joint does not necessarily mean the joint is problematic, so we'll take a second look there to see if, you know, the joint looks even exposed to the ground at all, but it is certainly not affecting functionality or flow. Joints can slip all the time, but as long as the coupler on the outside of it is keeping things secured and sealed off, it just becomes a visual blemish, but not one that's really affecting anything. But we'll see. Okay, now we are into concrete pipe. As you can see here, we do have a root plowing through the pipe joint there. And that transition looks like we just swapped over to 4-inch concrete. Line looks like it's remained 4-inch. All right, then here's our main at about 69 feet. So what I'm gonna do here, just to kill two birds with one stone, to verify where the line is headed to and to locate the roots. Actually, you know what? Never mind, I take that back. I'm gonna locate both ends of it. The concrete here looks worn out enough. There's a lot of heavy exposed aggregate. That's one of those joints there. If you were to fix the joint, it would not make sense not to also update the concrete in general. It's a very short section. And being as it looks like slope and grade is still good to that area, it's one you could, you know, theoretically do by epoxy liner if you wanted to. But anyway, we'll mark both ends of the concrete here. Alright, locate the camera head. So if you go and you stand out the street, you'll see, if you were to draw a straight line from the left side property line out into the roadway, that's as you face the front of this house from the street, you'll see a manhole that lines up with the left side property line, or very close to it anyway. So what that is, that manhole lines up with the main lateral. Basically, if you draw a straight line off that manhole going up the left side of the property line, or again, close to it, that's where that main is running. So this circumstance, the line actually goes out the back of the house and hits the main lateral right at the fence line. It's so close to the fence line. In fact, that main connection might actually be just on the other side of the fence line. I can't get right over top of it, so you'll see a green T marking right at the fence line, but just understand it might actually be a foot on the other side of it. This locate will come in much better here though. All right, I got this located in the backyard. It's just beyond the patio, at kind of the rear left corner of the patio, just past that. All of it appears in the bark dust or dirt area. I'm having a little bit of a time here for some reason getting a good accurate depth there. My depths are getting down around the 8-9 foot realm, which it's possible it's that deep. We'll watch as we go here. The line did not quite feel like it was diving that hard. So there's a reason I have not written depths down on the ground back there. It's one that needs to be relocated and double checked. Because sometimes you get interference with stuff, utilities, whatnot. Sometimes just depth alone can do it if it truly is that deep. But that's one that I think needs to be relocated before doing any repairs. And yeah, a little bit of a slip here at the joint. Otherwise, the joint looks clean. The little stringies coming off it there, those are just cobwebs. That joint were exposed to the ground, it would be very, very obvious. We would have dirt streaking everywhere, probably earthworms crawling around, all kinds of good stuff. The other thing that almost always happens when you have a joint exposed to the ground too is the joint will lead to hydro erosion and cause the line to settle in that location. Typically, you'll get the makings of an offset or belly or something of that nature. Anyway, that is because the slope and grade is good there. That's one I would recommend looking into the prospect. If it's cheaper or easier for some reason to do an epoxy liner, however it's done, I recommend that concrete section be updated at this point. And then this joint here too, similar thing going on as the other one. There's a slip there, but between the joint, it looks like we're looking at Black Fern Co. I don't see any signs that joint looks exposed to the ground. It hasn't settled at all. So I will at least notate those two on the report, but those are not things I'm recommending be fixed. They're not doing anything to affect functionality. Anyway, and I'm limited on the amount of locating I can do here. Just the roof access is awkward. So my diagram will be kind of general. The line basically shoots out the back, hangs a left-hand turn, and heads over to the that left side fence line. So the diagram will be very rough, but it'll give you an idea. And I still have not seen any obvious clean out back there. I think the clean out probably got paved over. There's a lot of pavers around the house. So anyway, recommend an update there to the concrete pipe. At the very least, I would recommend cleaning to cut the roots back, but as worn out as that concrete is at this point, there would be no reason to go fixing just the transition joints. It's the time to just update the concrete in general, as it's a relatively short section, and you know, especially when you're digging a hole like that, you're going to expose most of that concrete anyway, just digging up the one joint. Make sure a rescope is performed after any repairs are done to check the work, and you want to do that after the trench is closed so you can catch any settling problems that may occur. Otherwise, all the plastic pipe we scope there, a couple joints there that are a little blemished, you know, but as far as flow and functionality goes, the joints are sealed up and they're not doing anything to affect functionality.